Hello everyone, my name is Sibin Saji and my student ID is U1181394. This is my presentation for Big Data Management Assignment. The aim of this project was to analyze the Australian synthetic healthcare dataset using SQL to investigate how chronic medical conditions influence medication prescribing patterns. First, I would like to talk about my dataset. I will give you an overview on my dataset. And this is given in the page number 3, and here the dataset used in this assignment is Australia's synthetic healthcare dataset. It is a realistic electronic health records while protecting patient privacy because it contains synthetic rather than real patient information. For this project, I used 8 relational database. This includes patients, encounters, conditions, medications, procedures, providers, care plans, and immunizations. Each table stores a different aspect of healthcare information, and all of them are connected using patient identifiers. This relational structure allows SQL join to combine information from multiple tables and answer complex healthcare questions. Next, I would like to introduce my literature, the review on literature. And here, I conducted a focused literature review on chronic disease management and electronic health records, and also in medication prescribing. The literature showed that patients with chronic disease often require long-term medication management, and that electronic health records provide valuable data for healthcare analytics. These studies supported my choice of research questions, but the reason for choosing the research question is mentioned here in this report at page number 8 and 9. And my selected research question is, how do chronic medical conditions influence medication prescribing patterns? I selected this question because chronic disease such as hypertension, diabetes, and coronary heart disease require ongoing treatment and medication management. Using SQL, I joined 8 tables to analyze diagnosis, medications, healthcare encounters, and other clinical information to understand prescribing behavior across these diseases. And on the page number 10 to 16, I have all the SQL analysis I have done, and I will it is all the SQL analysis I have done. I have done a total of 12 queries. The analysis began by identifying the most common chronic conditions and linking them with prescribed medications. The one important SQL query joined the conditions and medications table. The results showed different prescribing patterns for each diseases. And I did all this using Google Collaboratory, and those data and the outputs of these tables were really big, so I was not even able to take screenshots, bigger screenshots of so much screenshots of these tables. So I have saved all this as the CSV files on my result folder in Google Drive, which I have downloaded to my local system. So here, in looking, we can see all these data, and from these data I submitted as I have as CSV files all these tables. I can understand that hypertension was commonly associated with lisinopril and amlodipine. Diabetes was commonly associated with metformin, and coronary heart disease patients were given simvastatin, clopidogrel, and nitroglycerin. These findings showed that medication prescribing depends on patients' underlying chronic conditions. And that was just my first part for my SQL analysis. And I would like to go to my second part of the SQL analysis, and here is the second part. And here, the second stage of the analysis examined disease prevalence and medication burden. Hypertension was the most common chronic condition with 39,911 patients. Diabetes was the second, and coronary heart disease was the third. Although hypertension affected the most patients, coronary heart disease patients had the highest average number of medications, approximately 4.45 patients. This indicates that the coronary heart disease generally require more complex long-term treatment. And from the page 21 to 28, it contains my third SQL analysis level. And here we can see that the final stage, and this is also the final stage. The final stage of the analysis explored demographics, procedures, care plans, and immunizations. The demographic analysis showed that coronary heart disease patients had the highest average age, followed by diabetes and hypertension. The procedure, care plan, and immunization analysis and demonstrated that the chronic diseases management involves more than the medication prescribing alone. These analyses highlighted the importance of coordinated healthcare, preventive care, and long-term disease management. And next thing I would like to present is The integrated interpretations I made when all 12 queries were considered together, they consistently answered the research question. Um, each chronic disease demonstrated a unique medication profile. Hypertension affected the largest number of patients, while coronary heart disease patients required the greatest medication burden, required the greatest medication burden. And together, the findings show that the chronic medical conditions strongly influence medications prescribing patterns and treatment complexity. And next, I would like to show the ethical privacy and government governance considerations on this healthcare data. Healthcare data contains sensitive patient information. Although this assignment is using synthetic data, ethical principles such as privacy, confidentiality, and responsible data governance remain essential. So, synthetic data sets provides an effective way to perform healthcare analytics while protecting the patient's privacy. So, last, I would like to give, as part of this report, I would like to give the conclusion that this project can demonstrate how SQL can be used to analyze a large relation healthcare dataset by integrating the given the tables made from the given datasets, the total of 8 tables. Overall, the research question was successfully answered, demonstrating the value of SQL and relational database in the healthcare analytics. Thank you for watching my presentation.